Well, hello and welcome to Wild Vittles. So today's episode, I'm going to tackle a problem that I often have. I like protein. I like meat. But I need to get vegetables into the meal somehow. And I'm often looking for something that I can grill. I want to grill everything at once, and I want to do it simply. But I want a great end product coming out of that. And one of the things that lends itself to that is very much kebabs. I don't know if they're kebabs, kabobs, kebabs, however regionally you say that, it is meat and vegetables on a skewer. And you can put anything on them. I'm kind of doing something expeditious based on what I have available. I've got mushrooms. My wife loves mushrooms. I've got red onions. I like onions. I threw in jalapenos. Often we'll do like bell peppers, zucchini, squash. I've also got potatoes. Trick on potatoes, though, is that you need to parboil them. And what is parboil? Parboil means that you're kind of partially cooking them. So I took these are red potatoes. Yeah, the red potatoes. Quartered them up because they're pretty big. And then got a pot of boiling water and then cooked them in that boiling water for like 15 minutes. And it will vary depending upon the size of your potatoes. But what you're looking for is you can stick a fork in it and you can kind of get the fork to go in. So essentially, if we put these on a kebab, the potatoes, and put them on a grill, they wouldn't get done. So you're cooking them ahead of time so that you can get everything done at once. Now, I'm going to start assembling these, and so while we talk about this. Now, something else, I'm using bamboo skewers. You can use metal skewers. I've burned myself on metal skewers several times, and I just prefer wood ones. Now bamboo, they're disposable, but it's beneficial to soak these. Minimum 30 minutes. I soak these for several hours today. Another thing that you're going to notice that I'm doing on this is that you can cook them all together. If you're really hung up on, I want my kebab so I can hand it to somebody and it's got meat and vegetables, then you can mix them. But a better way to go about this is to have an all vegetable skewer and an all meat skewer. And that way you can really control the cooking. It's not that it can't be done, but you're giving up a little bit of control because, I would say the meat in my mind is what needs to be perfect because I prioritize protein. So, consider that. So I'm going to stick on randomly, and just because I'm using these, these ingredients doesn't mean that you can't use something else. Choose whatever you like. And it was also kind of what I had because I had a red onion that was kind of going to waste. I had bought some jalapenos. I love potatoes. And there's a bit of a danger of the potatoes falling apart if you get them too parboiled, if that makes sense. But essentially just kind of like you're going to load up several skewers of vegetables, and then I'm going to load up several skewers of meat. For the meat, I took, a bottom round of a whitetail and thawed it out over a couple of days. And it's already been cleaned, silver skin and everything like that. Got it out, and you didn't see this, so just imagine with me. I took it out and cubed it up, and then I put it in marinade. And you can make your own marinade with like soy sauce and sugar, like brown sugar, peppers, whatever you want to put in there. I was in a hurry, as I often am, and bought a store-bought marinade. So it's been marinating for like 4 hours or so. So you can make this as hard or as easy as you want. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to make a lovely meal. These potatoes are huge. Probably should have got some like really small button ones. Trying to think what else I'm going to, once I get these skewers all built, for the vegetables specifically, I'm going to put olive oil on them. And then I'm going to put my favorite seasoning, which is Red River Ranch, on top of that. All right, there's my first skewer. I'd suggest that you get like a cookie sheet. Oh my gosh, I about dropped my skewers. That would have been catastrophic. Yeah, get a cookie sheet. I put foil on it so I don't make a mess. And that's going to hold my skewers so I can carry them out to the grill. My grill is already fired up and already up to temp. It's, I use charcoal. That requires a lot more kind of prep, but I think it's cool. And really what you want, I'm going to put probably the vegetables on first, and I'll kind of eyeball them. I mean, these are all kind of like salad related vegetables. The potatoes are cooked. I just want them to kind of get a char on them. And then I'll put the meat on after the vegetables have started. I've cut the cubes of the steak or the roast pretty thin. I would recommend that you do like top round, bottom round, or sirloin, not a shoulder. I don't think I would use a neck because there's more connective tissue in that. And those tend to lend themselves to like slow cooks as opposed to, something that we're going to do here. I hope I have enough skewers. Kind of depends whatever your priority is on what you like. Like for me, I love potatoes. My wife loves the mushrooms, and she's like, more mushrooms, please. So she's always wanting me to get a bigger container of mushrooms. Make sure that I get ample number for her. And like I said, when we get these out, we'll just like pull them off the skewers and throw them into a big bowl and kind of mix the meat and the vegetables all up. And that way, it doesn't really matter that you don't have a pretty presentation of a skewer. Now, I have done it where, you've got, a skewer of mixed, and it can work. It's possible. But it's just not as easy. I have a lot of meat. I'm worried I'm going to have not enough skewers. This is a very unscientific approach. I just kind of eyeball it. As is the cooking. And the recipe on this is not really a recipe. It's really an approach. Some of the key things: parboil potatoes. Make sure your fire is good and hot. Cook your meat separate from your vegetables. Season, put some marinade on the meat, season the vegetables with something. I'm kind of using my Red River Ranch as kind of my catch-all. It can be kind of whatever you're fancy from a perspective of your seasoning. All right, now I'm going to do the meat. These over here. I thought I got these little, but now I look at them and I'm like, my God, those are big pieces. Well, that one is. In a perfect world, you would cut all your pieces to the same size. I think it's important that you don't crowd the meat. You want it to get have some air around it, if that makes sense. It is a messy business getting your hands in the marinade. Smells good. This is steakhouse chop. You could, get some of the marinade like on the vegetables, wouldn't hurt a thing. I would do it beforehand, not after. Don't want cross-contamination. Here we go. Here's some smaller pieces. I just had a few big ones in there. I think, kind of the key on the meat is you want to make sure that it's a cut that doesn't have a lot of seams in it, where there's a lot of silver skin running through it. It's kind of one big uninterrupted muscle. And the bottom round's good for that. Bottom round's good for a lot of things. I use it. This sauce is making me cough. I use it for chicken fried steak, stir fry, making me a roast. Oh, I'm making a mess here. I think this is going to work out. I always have a bad feeling as I get started on some of these things. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work. But we will persevere. So I'm starting really late tonight. I'm solo this weekend because my wife went up to see our nephew graduate. Oh, these sauces making me cough. See him graduate, and so I had the weekend unsupervised, and I went out and kayak fished 2 days. And you might be like, what's the big deal with that? Well, it's over on the coast. You have to get up really early because you got to be out there really early. So I'm running on not much sleep, and then had to clean up all my gear and everything like that. And it's Sunday night, and I'm trying to hurry up and get this episode filmed. Filmed? Such an archaic old word now, filmed. Who uses film? Nobody. Had a really good fishing trip coast. Caught 2 slot reds. Those redfish. They have to be, in Texas, they have to be between 20 and 28 inches. I guess they can be 28. They can be as small as 20, and they can they be bigger than 28? I'll have to look at the regs. Most of the fish I catch aren't up to 28. I guess it is probably 27 3/4, 20. Yeah, 28. So it's an interesting approach where I'm used to like freshwater fish. You're just like minimum size, but on saltwater fish, there's a range. So I'll probably check these with a meat thermometer. I'd highly recommend, if you don't already have one, a meat thermometer is your friend. That way you don't have to guess. When I guess, I guess that it needs more. And that often doesn't work out well. Okay, I have one skewer left to put the rest of my vegetables on. Ow. That didn't work out. Do not stab yourself. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil. Oh, that's probably more than I intended. What I'm gonna do here, I just wanna make sure that they're kind of covered because you don't want it to dry out. I do have a brush, basting brush. If you overdo it, then you're going to have a lot of flaring because the oil is like gasoline, essentially. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's nice to have a little bit on there. And it's just the vegetables because the meat's already covered. So what I'm doing is I poured it on this pan. I'm kind of like getting my brush covered the bottom. Very good. I'm going to take a little of my seasoning. And as they say, season to taste. I like, I'm sure somebody's going to be like, my God, Chris, you're putting a lot on there. Well, most of it's missing. You know what I mean? Is falling off. I want it to kind of, especially those potatoes, I need a little seasoning. And I'll probably put a little bit on there while it's in the grill. Okay, so now this is ready. The skewers, I've got the meat skewers and the vegetable skewers and fungus. I guess mushrooms aren't a vegetable. But never, be that as it may, we are ready to go put these out on the grill. So we're going to fade to black. I'm probably going to show you a little bit on the grill. I'll probably do a bit of a voiceover there showing kind of, as they're progressing what they look like. And I'll be right back with our dinner. So hang with me. Okay, so we're moving out to the grill now. And what I'm showing here is essentially my arrangement of the skewers. I've already had them on for probably, I don't know, I just started the vegetables first. And as I'm holding some up here, you can see that they've got good char marks. They're good and crisp on the outside. They've probably been on there for close to 10 minutes. I'm rearranging them so that I can get them kind of in the cooler zones. And then I've got the meat. I started off in the hot zones to be able to get a sear, and then moved them off to cook. The meat's pretty small, so maybe 5 to 6 minutes probably is all you need. This is very dependent upon the heat that you have on the grill, so use a thermometer and make sure that you get that doneness all the way through as you prefer. I prefer about a medium rare. Right, and welcome back. So, have these out on the grill. It doesn't take too long when your fire's hot. And we've got, and I'll hold this up for the video audience, kind of crisp vegetables. And the roast bits are, I would say, medium rare with a really good marinade on top of that. So they're going to be delicious. Sometimes these roast bits can be a little bit chewy. If you wanted to have really tender, you could take some backstrap, or you could slice these kind of thinner, but they will cook really quick. So you have some options there. But like I said, it's really an approach as more than a recipe. So kind of key things: use the vegetables that you like. If you have things like potatoes, parboil them in advance. Mix and match and put the vegetables all in skewers by themselves. Cube your meat to equivalent sizes. Make them fairly small. I did probably inch and a half cubes. Marinated them, put them on the skewers, just meat only, so that I can kind of control the heat zones. And then grill them till done. Oh, the vegetables, be sure and put some olive oil on them and some seasoning, some sort of, I use Red River Ranch, could be fajita seasoning, could be oregano, whatever you'd like. And then you're ready. And so what we do as a family is then we push these off into a bowl and kind of mix them all up so you get meat and vegetables, and it's just kind of like a wonderful surprise. So like I said, if you're really hung up on you want your kebabs to be able to have presentation, you can do them together. I think the parboil is even more important. I think the uniformity of the size of the meat, and you probably want to go on the smaller side so that you don't. I think everything should be small, and you can manage your meat, because nobody wants overly cooked steak or roast. So, venison kebabs, give them a try. It's summer grilling season. I think you're going to really like them. Find a marinade you like, find a seasoning you like to put on the vegetables, and enjoy. So until next time, let's all be better wild game cooks. Good night and good luck.